getting a chance to kind of speak with you, getting to learn more about you and your journey, especially with the new LP that's coming out with for you. And yeah, let's kind of dive right into it.
Let's do
I,
it.
I guess first thing, just kind of getting a sense of what's new with you. After post the COVID situation, pandemic, and how that kind of changed your journey a little bit, and
Oof,
what's next for you.
it's more than a little bit. Well, yeah, apart from that situation being, uh, uh yeah, it was a lot of change for a lot of people, of course, me
Mhm,
included. Um, but there were also some changes happening in like my personal life and the DROELOE context. So yes, Hein and I, we stopped working together. We are still um, we're still like we're still friends, and we're still like just doing our own thing separately, I guess. um but I also left my former management, um and it was just kind of like I was thrown in the deep end, and I didn't know really what um everything was going to be like, and then all the uncertainty that the world was in at the time as well. It was yeah, it was a difficult time to for sure. And also, in a way, the main inspiration for the album that's coming out, um, because it was so full of change and so full of uh, yeah, different things, that I wanted to become more an active participant in that process, instead of yeah, just everything happening to me, if that makes sense.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. And I guess I'm curious about the way it's your album's kind of described. You mentioned that it's kind of the idea behind like a feedback loop. Can you kind of explain a little bit more about that throughout
Yeah,
that process?
it's in the end about maintaining and understanding like some sort of personal narrative that everyone has. It's the story that you tell yourself, and by feedbacking that story, by writing stuff down, by recording your voice, and kind of talk to yourself, you kind of create that um, a better grasp of what that personal narrative could be, and is at the moment. And
Mhm.
it just gives a lot of, um, I guess, tools to, yeah, again, become that active participant as well in that.
And I think for me, Downside Up kind of resonated a little bit more, especially with the fact that it's kind of, has a message of hope and vulnerability and darkness. So I guess, that's kind of your journey throughout COVID as well. Um, could you kind of tell us, is there any specific inspiration around that? Do you have a specific, favorite out of the whole album itself, or, they're all kind of your babies,
Ooh.
so everything is your favorite?
Not really. And Downside Up definitely is a song about catharsis and about letting go, and about like that um, element of going through hardship. But that song was not necessarily like inspired mainly by the hard times necessarily. It was more
Mhm.
the mechanism of um, kind of a reminder for myself. Like sometimes shit is just that heavy, and you have to let go, and you cannot control it or fix it anymore. And
Mhm.
um, yeah, the song serves to me as a reminder for that. And every song in on the album is a reminder for something, for some element of um, either a thought or a mechanism or a philosophy that I find important in the way that I want to continue growing and
Mhm.
live my life, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's hard to pick a favorite for sure. um,
Yeah, definitely feel you on that.
yeah.
So I guess let's kind of wind back a little bit. going from your journey as an artist, your life really immersed in music. Um, tell us a little bit more of your journey from, playing with FL Studio on your dad's computer to starting like your solo projects like Pure Vinsky to Beat Ballistics,
Oh
Fabled
wow.
Enemies.
Oh wow,
Like
you did your research. Love that.
yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
how did that journey really shape up your journey into DROELOE? And
Great
would you ever
question.
get back into like, rapping on your tracks as well? So kind of curious about that.
I'm not sure about rapping, even though I do enjoy it. It's not necessarily that I want to. Yeah, if I do something like that, it will mostly be as a joke or something. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So how did all those different things impact the way that I perceive music at this point?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah.
Um, well, it always was a game, and it still kind of is,
Mhm,
even though um, I am doing this professionally, and I am trying to build and maintain a career. It's mostly still about the fun and about creating something true. And in order to create something true, I feel like I need to experiment a lot and I need to try a lot of shit. And that's kind of what I've always been doing. Like
mhm.
it's always more of the like I would for instance with the Piotr V project, Piotr Vinsky, I tried uh, yeah, what is my take on heavy bass shit? And I think I only uploaded the one song on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
But it was very much an experiment in okay, how can I make as many strange sound design elements to a bass sound? Um, and with hip hop, with the hip hop project Beat Ballistics, it was like what types of sounds can I use to still create a beat that feels like boom bap but is not really,
Mhm,
stuff like that. It's always been about that experiment. Yeah, and this album as well. It's I feel like I've been yeah, there are definitely songs on there that I don't know what genre they are at all.
mhm. Yeah,
Like no clue.
yeah.
And in my opinion,
Awesome.
that's a good thing. But
Yeah,
that's yeah.
definitely. Awesome. And I guess like kind of talking about you growing up, was there a favorite phase in your childhood? I think you in some of the interviews you kind of mentioned that you had a gothic phase, you got into your trance phase, your hip hop phase. Is there a particular favorite? Would you ever go back?
Nope. Well, I would not go back, and there's also no favorite. It's I think there are even a lot more versions of me and phases to come still.
Oh yeah.
They are less juvenile and all encompassing as they used to be, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Who knows? It's I definitely went through a punk phase, and
Oh,
still I'm
nice.
kind of going through that.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm also playing trumpet in a band called the Hobo Jobos, and
Awesome, man.
my friend Jobo is the front man, and just really gotten into that
Hmm.
vibe, and yeah, it brings me to strange places, which I really like and enjoy,
Yeah.
and it's again, I guess every version brings you in new places mentally and physically, and that's
Hmm.
what I like about the phases.
Awesome. Uh, and kind of throughout your journey, what would you say? I guess there's two parts. In terms of your journey, what was the point where you kind of felt like you made it and that this was, a path that you really worked towards and you finally hit that milestone? And also the second part would be, what was the hardest part of that journey, and how did you kind of power through that?
Hmm. I guess the first part, to answer the first part of the question, it was, yeah, the only one that really jumps out, that the moment was, the moment that I started working on the song Lily Pads. It was at the end of the first tour that I've ever done, together with San Holo, and everyone else was doing their own stuff. I think everyone was having like meetings and just being in LA kind of. And I was
Mhm.
the only one that stayed at the Airbnb, and I wanted to make a song, and that song came out, and it kind of encapsulated the feeling of, whoa, what the fuck just happened? Like this whole tour, this whole that was, I guess, the moment that it just hit me, like, damn, okay, this is something that I'm doing now. Yeah. And then a difficulty in that journey is losing that losing that realization, and losing that gratefulness for it, and just being caught up in the logistics and in the crazy, yeah, it can be a hectic thing, especially if a lot of tours. I remember there was a time that I did an Asia tour, and then right after we went to America, and it was in the end like a 4 month being on the road situation.
Wow.
So yeah, that definitely had an impact on multiple levels, physically and mentally, of course.
Mhm.
And and that's the biggest difficulty again, like to keep realizing that it is something incredible, and that
Mhm.
it's an opportunity that so many people want to have. There's a lot of artists that lose that a little bit, or that
Right, right.
that it becomes, yeah, in the end, that's also kind of a sad truth. It is also a job. So being grateful for your job every day is sometimes a little hard, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah. And speaking of tours, what's kind of the thing that you're kind of looking forward to, especially, meeting the fans and getting back out there, and I guess what's your favorite city, that you have coming up?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
Very
Um,
loaded.
uh, yeah, I'm really looking forward to, yeah, to meeting and seeing fans, and to create like a moment together. Because yeah, living in the Netherlands, I don't have that. I don't at least connect with my Dutch fan base that often. I'm also not like often online,
Mhm.
so it sometimes just feels a little bit removed from what I'm doing. And doing those shows, it's yeah, I'm looking forward to feeling that again, that aspect of it, that there are actually people listening to it.
Mhm.
um, and apart from that, uh, what was your other part of the question?
Your favorite city, or
Ooh,
favorite part that
right.
you're looking forward to?
So I love Denver. Denver is a great place.
Nice.
um, Seattle, Portland also has a place in my heart, both those cities. San
Mhm.
Francisco and Los Angeles are also great cities, but I guess more often there. So it's uh yeah, I sometimes I don't know. Los Angeles is a beast for sure.
Yeah.
San Francisco as well, different beast.
Mhm.
Uh, a lot of great people I know in both cities. It's just less, like, in terms of the city itself, less my jam. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I remember when you and Hein came, maybe like 6 years ago, in the more intimate type of setting.
Mm.
Um, are you trying to kinda go for more of that type of show where it's a little bit more, intimate, or kind of a different vibe with this new tour.
Yes, definitely the intimacy is something I want to try and capture with these shows as well. Um, I don't necessarily see myself as an artist that wants to like go bigger every time.
Mhm.
I don't think that that's me. At least I way rather have a small production and a good connection than a crazy big production and no connection. That's kind of
Right.
where I'm at
Awesome.
now.
That's great. And I think just coming from, a producer standpoint from your fans, are there any advice in terms of your journey that you learned that you could kind of share?
Definitely. Um, yeah, like I said earlier, experiment a lot. That's the main thing. Experiment and kind of let that experimentation evolve your taste and never compromise your taste. Because what I see a lot, well, not necessarily a lot, but what I sometimes see is that some producers are so much trying to make something that works that in the end it's something that they don't necessarily even like themselves anymore, and that's I think something works if it's authentic more often than if it's not. um so yeah, stay true to your own taste and keep experimenting. That's, I guess, the biggest advice I can give.
Yeah. And I guess I have a couple more questions before I hand it off to Elaine, who's sitting there. Hi, Elaine.
Hello.
Um, what's the biggest learning lesson so far throughout this journey, from solo acts to your duo with Hein, and now going back into the solo acts? Would love to know what that is like for you.
I think the biggest lesson, one that I'm still learning, uh, is that I'm running a business, and that this is because like I'm not good with money. I am not necessarily good with yeah. I'm very grateful of the people that help me with those things, but it's especially when doing this alone. That was a big realization because now I was the sole uh, entity that was making decisions within the company instead of having a partner to kind of spitball with. Um, yeah, so it put me in a new. It felt more like I had more responsibility all of a sudden, and um, yeah, that's been a process
Mhm.
in owning that responsibility, and still sometimes is, but it's getting better. It's getting way better.
Yeah. And how's the visual aspect kind of changed for you? I know that Hein was, the more of the graphic and design element to it. How has that process changed?
It's a great question. I was, and I still am, very proud of everything visually that Hein created for the project. So it was a big, very big shoot to fill, and yeah, me being an overthinker, I kind of, it debilitated me a little bit for a while. That I was thinking like, okay, no, nothing is really even coming close to the quality of Heinz stuff, and I also don't want to do anything that feels like I'm replacing him.
Mhm.
So then I decided at some point, fuck it, I'm just gonna draw myself, and that's how the Pillars EP came about. Like those artworks I drew myself, and it was it was kind of a feeling like, okay, if everyone hates this, then I know that I should not continue this project this way,
Yeah.
and if not, then there are possibilities. Right now, I'm working with this artist Funi Labs, who also created um, Soda, I think it was called. Like he's a 3D VR artist, and I
Oh,
fucking love his
nice.
work. Yeah, he uses Quill, which is a software that you can like paint in VR,
Hmm.
and all the artworks are were painted that way. And yeah,
It's amazing.
I, I like the new direction, but I also think that it will keep changing, and maybe even there, maybe, but this is a big maybe. Maybe there's even going to be a moment where Hein and I do a call up on something again. That's still something that I would love to do in the future at some point, at least.
Hmm. And when you talked about your you coming to the US for your tour and kind of reconnecting with that community, how has that journey been like in terms of maintaining a community outside of, where you live, as well as building that community from within?
I don't feel like I have been that involved in the community aspect of it, other than my sporadic joining the Discord like channel, just chatting a little
Mhm.
bit. But a lot of it is people do it themselves, and I'm intensely grateful that that is happening. But yeah, that's all them. That's like I'm pretty removed from a lot of things,
Right.
social media. Uh, yeah, so this is it's overwhelming in a way, even to see that that is the case. And especially during shows, it's like, whoa, all these people are here for me. That's crazy. Like I don't, yeah, I guess I'm one of those people that really uh, doesn't like, well, I don't dislike to be in that context, but I don't look for it. I don't go look for being a part of a community that is built around me, because I'm just making my shit and they were
Mhm.
enjoying it and finding each other, which is a way more beautiful thing in my opinion. Like why should I even be part of that?
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's I guess how I look at that.
Well, it's incredible that you've built out such a amazing group of people that, love your music and love who you are as an artist. Um, but yeah, that's really been quite incredible. And I think, you know, uh, seeing you in hopefully in San Francisco, I think that would be great during your tour. Um, I think Neon Owl specifically is kind of working with 1015 there, uh,
Mm, cool.
collaborating with that. So I think potentially we're going to do something before the show. Not sure if you're going to be there a little bit early.
I definitely will be there because I probably
Oh,
will be
awesome.
helping building and setting everything up. So yeah,
Oh,
what time
awesome.
or what moment, like how far before the show are you
I
thinking?
think sometime during the day we're thinking of doing something that we've done before in terms of, working with uh a little Lane.
Okay, at this
We're
point, I think this is when I jump in.
yes,
Anyways, no,
please.
fun fact. I got trapped. We're
Really?
saving this for the bloopers. I got trapped. They didn't let me up to WeWork. I'm like, I have this interview with DROELOE. I was like, you know what? Jeff's got this. But I smuggled my way in.
Oh wow.
The guy gave me the keys. I walked up the stairs and I made it. But then Jeff was doing so good, I didn't want to chime in.
Yeah, Jeff has been doing great. Cool.
Okay, but I'm actually here for the rapid fire questions
Okay, let's
unrelated
go.
to music. All right, one.
Yes.
What is your least favorite and favorite social media platform? Even though we
TikTok.
know you're not a big
Least
fan.
favorite TikTok.
Okay, what about most
Favorite
favorite?
favorite Discord
Okay, if you were a
and YouTube
Pokemon,
actually. Like is YouTube a social media platform? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say
you
so.
know,
Kind of, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
if you were a Pokemon, what Pokemon would you be?
Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Can it be a combination of Pokemon?
Fine, we'll give you three
Oh shit.
max.
So Snorlax is in there for sure.
Okay,
Um,
why?
because sometimes I can be very lazy and just like lazy.
Okay.
I'm too lazy to find another word for lazy. Yeah. What is the one? Hypno? Is that like the last
Oh,
evolution of
the one that makes you
drowsy hypno? I think it was.
probably. I mean, I like didn't watch the newer Pokemon.
No,
I'm
that's
It's
like
one of the
the
old
clearly.
ones.
first.
Is
That's
it
the
one of the
first
old ones?
generation.
So
Yeah.
I'm Jigglypuff, Pikachu,
Ah,
and
right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Clefairy, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Damn, I haven't thought
Okay.
about Pokemon for so long.
I know. We like to use that icebreaker at our events because you have producers, they're shy and they're like, I don't want to talk to you. And we're like, all right, everyone, pair up with a stranger and tell them this. Okay, how about this? If it was your last meal on Earth,
Yes.
what would you be eating?
Ooh. It's probably. So I love to experiment making pasta sauce.
Okay. Are you going to experiment for your last meal?
Yeah.
You're gonna, the vodka sauce, the penne
Yes.
with the
Yes. Like
Alfredo
everything I
with-
have in the house, I will drop in a pan and make the sickest pasta sauce. And yeah, that's gotta be my
that
last
might be
meal.
the cause of it being your last meal.
Yes, actually.
Oh my God. Okay. If you could only keep two senses, I know people usually ask if you could lose one
Mhm.
sense, which would you lose? But if you're only allowed to keep two senses, what two senses would you keep? Jeff is like, I don't know.
Ooh, that's an interesting question because, yeah, obviously one would be my hearing because a world without music would suck. But I'm kind of in between if it would be the second one, if it would be my vision or my smell.
Oh, you'd rather keep smell. Oh, I would think that's like the last for most people.
Well, smell is so much linked to memory, right? It is the bridge between like the emotion you felt during a memory, and like it makes memories way more emotional and intense. And I can imagine when my vision is gone that I would still have a lot of visual memories that could be amplified by the smell.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like, yeah, having vision is nice. it's just the convenience. Like, yeah.
If you could have a superpower, what would that superpower be?
Ooh.
I'm just here for the fun part, Jeff. Obviously, I didn't care about the interview.
I was a serious part, so it's okay.
It was a serious question. Superpower. Everyone I touch becomes inspired. That would be sick.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Well, then I have to.
You'd have to touch a lot of people.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, everyone that hears your music or your voice gets
that would be
because that would be a lot faster.
Yeah, exactly.
More COVID friendly.
Okay. Also, okay, for those that are closest to you, what are 3 words that they would use to describe you as a person?
Chaotic.
You don't seem chaotic to me.
I don't? Oh, really?
Maybe it's the plants. It's the plants behind you that's
right.
giving
This is
me a
also
different
not
vibe.
my house. So my own house would look way more chaotic already. No.
Tough ones, huh?
I know that. Well, it kind of also depends who you ask. Like my
Let's
closest.
say your mom.
My mom.
That's a tough
You're like,
one.
Oof.
You asked.
She is proud of me. I just don't know what she's. No, I'm joking.
How about your mom or your best friend? I would say those are people that would know you pretty well.
Yeah. So I know my best friend sometimes says like, "Oh, dude, you worded that really well." So I guess like being good with words,
Eloquent.
eloquent. Yes, I didn't want to say it myself.
We got you.
Okay, and then finally, for just everyone watching out there, what words do you have for your fans that's been tuning in, whether that's day one or a new fan?
Ooh. Day one fans, I'm speaking directly to you right now. Thank you all so much for like being part of this crazy ride with so many different swerves and turns and twists. And I hope that, yeah, now that you've seen those turns and twists and swerves, I hope that it makes your own life's turns and twists a little less heavy, because, yeah, I just wish you well in the end. And I think that's whatever life throws at you, you'll get through it. And that also goes for the new fans. Hello, hi, welcome. um, yeah, thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't listened to my older stuff yet, there is quite a lot. So you don't have to, you can. And yeah, there's probably going to be a lot of a crazy ride still in the future. Wait, that's not good English. There's probably going to be a lot more coming. So that's, yeah. And I'm grateful for all of you. That's
Yeah.
that's what I would say. Yeah.
And on the point of gratitude, aside from your fans and, you know, everyone that's been really supportive, what's something else you're really grateful for in this moment?
Ooh. I try to practice gratefulness on a regular basis. So already generally to be alive, to be able to experience things and put them into words and put them, create the meaning that we as humans are able to create concerning anything. Like that's something that I'm very grateful about, that we have that power, that something can become something in our heads already, even if it's just one blade of grass. And yeah. Wait, could you repeat the question? I'm too chaotic too.
Just yeah, just something you're grateful
Oh yeah,
for, which
grateful,
you already
gratefulness,
shared.
grateful.
Yeah.
I think a better question is what would I not be grateful for at this moment? Jesus.
That's good. So you're definitely a cup is half full person then.
Yeah, optimistic nihilist for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. Like, we're definitely looking forward to catching you on at least a few of your tour stops. And
Awesome.
everyone, if you haven't listened, go listen now, and we'll catch you at some of these shows.
Thank you all so much. And yeah, we'll see you at the shows.